Hi guys, in today's lesson we are going to discuss how to migrate an on-premises instance of Oracle database to AWS RDS using data pump. So basically it is kind of a schema import from on-premises database or a database on EC2 using data pump, and then transfer this dump file into a S3 file systems, and from S3 move into Oracle RDS DB pump directories, and from there import using data pump. So let's check the high level details. Okay, I already have a source database on EC2 instance, so I'll be using this source database, and thereafter I'll be taking a data pump export backup and transfer the dump file into S3, and thereafter I'll be creating a destination database in RDS, and then I'll perform the prerequisites for Amazon RDS Oracle integrations with Amazon S3, then transferring files from S3 to AWS RDS, then import the data into RDS, and then remove the export dump file from RDS DB pump directory. Well, to proceed with, I already have as I said, I already have a EC2 instance running. So this is the public DNS and the public IP, and I already logged into my EC2 machine from Oracle. So if I'll show you what's the schema looks like and what are the objects I'm going to import using the data pump. So I'm logging into my database. My database name is ORCL. Okay, let me show you what are the tables are there. There are 7 tables. Table name. And owner is HR. You can see there are 7 tables, and there apart from the tables there will be some other objects. So let me show you what are the objects I am going to import. Okay, so you can see there are 6 type of objects today I am going to import. Apart from the table, there will be index, view, trigger, procedure, and sequence. So at first I am going to take a export backup at my source side. For that I already have a SQL developer window opening at my side. So I'll be using a script to take a export backup. So I'll be using this script. Let me check. Let me replace the file name. Maybe I'll check the file name as HR new. So I'll be using an export backup. This is a schema type of backup, and the file name would be hr_new.dmp. So I'll be using this one as a for my export backup, schema backup. So I'm running on my source database. Okay, backup is completed. Okay. So you can see that the DMP file has been created. Let me remove the old one. Okay. So I already have the new DMP file and the DMP logs. So let me see the DMP logs as well. So it says, yeah, it's imported the table rows. Okay. The next steps, I'll be creating a S3 bucket and copy the dump file to the S3 bucket. So let me create a S3 bucket. Okay, let me give this as a CloudWise02. Okay, bucket is created. Now let me go to the front end. So I'm logging to the S3 console. Okay, this is the CloudWise02. Okay, let me give some change the permissions. So for the sake of this training, I am putting in the public access. I am not giving any kind of bucket policy. Okay, now let me transfer the file. Okay, I already uploaded the file. I can see the file. I can see the file right now in the SC console. Yeah, I can see that things. Let me also change the permissions of the file. Just for the sake of this training, I am making it as a public. Done. Okay. Okay, so I already created the bucket, copy the dump file, set the bucket update privilege correctly. The next steps, I'm going to create a database. I'm going to create a database. For database creations, I'm logging in again to the AWS console. I came to the RDS console page, creating a database. I'll choose a standard create. It's Oracle. Edition should be enterprise edition. Version, source version 12.102, version 19. You can choose any version 12.102 or any other version if you feel. I've chosen free tier. Database identifier should be default, or you can change it as per your wish. Okay, I'm choosing a username called testdba. Okay, DB instance class T3 micro should be sufficient. Allocated storage 20 GB should be good. I don't want auto scaling. I'm already having a VPC with me. This is, and I will be choosing some additional option called yes, publicly accessible. And I already have a security group which allows connection from in port 1521 from everywhere. Okay, database port is default. I don't need any additional configuration now at this point. I'll be doing later. Initial database name, I'm not choosing anything. Or okay, let me choose TSDB. Okay, TSDB. Encryptions not required. Performance insights not required now. Okay, let's create. Okay, this step will take some time. In the meantime, we'll perform something else. We'll go to the next steps. Okay, now we'll be doing the most important steps where you may face lots of problem if these steps is not performed correctly. This is something kind of RDS Oracle integrations with the S3, and where we are going to create some IAM policy which will have some kind of permissions in the S3 level, and thereafter we are going to create a role which will give RDS access to um, access this Amazon S3. Then we are going to associate the IAM role with the DB instance, and thereafter we are going to configure an option group for Amazon S3 integrations. So let's proceed. Okay, I'll go to the console again. I'll go to the IAM. Okay, and I'll go to the roles. I'll go to the policies. My apology. I'll create a policy. I'll choose a service. I'll choose S3. Okay, here this point is very important. I'll expand all because I need to have some policies here. So as per the Oracle documentation, as per the Amazon documentation, it says that list bucket, get objects, and put objects is sufficient to for these configurations. However, I prefer to have some little bit more configurations, like I'll put get object SEL, list all my bucket, then I'll also check put object SEL. Where is put object SEL? 1 minute. Okay, put object SEL. And I believe this will be unlist bucket versions. I don't have any versioning. I believe this will be sufficient. Okay. For resources, I need to specify the bucket name I am going to use it. So I am adding the add ARN. My bucket name is cloud y02. Okay. And object names, I know my object name, but this time, since this is only one object, I'll rather choose any. So what I did, I'll choose some policies like list all my buckets, list bucket, get object SEL, put object SEL, and I'll provide these permissions. I'll give these permissions only for the bucket called cloud502 for any objects. So I'll review policy. I'll name the thing as a S3 RDS integration policy. Okay, ADRDS say access policy. Okay, descriptions, it's optional. So I'll create the policy. Now the next steps, I'll be creating a role. I'll select role. This will be the role for the RDS, so I'll choose an RDS, and this will be the role for RDS add role to the database. Okay, so next is permissions. I'll be choosing my newly created policy. Tag is optional. Review, say S3 RDS access role. Create role. Okay, let me check in the meantime if our database creations is done or not, because the next steps we are going to do with the database. Okay, still creating, but definitely we can perform another one step with the database, but I just want to be in order wise. So let me pause the video for a minute. I will come back once the database is created successfully. Welcome back. Hopefully our database is already created. Yes, it is available. Now let's do the next steps. The next step is that we have to associate the IAM role we just created with a newly created DB instance, and we are gonna configure that option group for Amazon S3 integration. So let's do that. Okay, if you can scroll down a little bit, you can see that in the manage IAM role section, there is no IAM role is there associated with the database. So we have to add the role. So our role name is S3 RDS access role, if you remember, and it will be and will feature with the S3 integrations. So we'll add role. So this will also take some maybe a minute. So in the meantime, we'll do that in the next steps, like we'll configure the option groups and we'll add the option group in the RDS. So for configuring the option groups, you have to choose the option groups, then create option groups. In the option group, you can create, say, I'll write, say, S3 RDS integrations. Description, you can copy whatever thing is that. Okay, S3 S3 integration. Okay, engine, I know that it is enterprise editions, and the major version is 12.1. So the name, you can choose any name. The description is also the same thing. The engine, our database is enterprise editions, and its version is 12.1. So we are just creating. So once the option group is created, choose the option group, then add option. Here, from the option group, there is a drop down. Choose the S3 integration. The version is 1.0. Applied immediately. Then add option. Now, let me check the database levels. I believe our IAM role is already being added. Yes. Now, the another thing we have to do that we have to add the option group into the database. For that, we have to choose modify. Scroll down. Okay, now you can see there is in the option group is a default option group is mentioned. We'll change the option group. Our option group's name is RDS S3 integration. We'll choose that and continue. I'll apply immediately. Modify DB instance. So we can see that we successfully created the option group S3 integrations and successfully added option S3 integration to the option group. So the DB modify, I believe, is done. I can check the configuration. One minute. We can check the configurations. It is showing this option group is yes. This option group is S3 integrations is there. So we are good. Our next steps would be transferring the files from S3 to AWS RDS. So guys, welcome back. I already connected to my target AWS RDS Oracle database. So let me show you. This is our target DB, and I just figured out that I did a small typo in spelling this bucket name. Let me show you here. I was supposed to put the bucket name as a CloudVy, but I just mistakenly added additional A here. So I had to adjust, I have to modify the IAM policy to incorporate this newly created names, whatever it is. So from CloudVy to CloudVy. So I already did it in the backend. So let me just let me proceed with transferring the files from S3 to RDS. So I'll be using a script to do that. So this is a cd script functions from RS admin. So I'm getting a task ID. This task ID will be needed to check the status. Okay. I'll just replace the tax ID here. It will show me the status of this transfer download from S3. Yes, I can see that because I have not changed the bucket name here, so it's got failed. Maybe so that's a good lesson. Okay, let me run it again. Yep. Okay, I got the tax ID. Let me copy and replace here. Hopefully this time it will go through. Yes. You can see that the objects are stored into this RDS DB data pump. I believe this is something their default. I'll check also where it is stored. Okay, I can use another select query to see where it is actually stored and which name. It should be named as a HR_new, something like that. Yeah, it's HR_new.dmp, so it's already stored into the RDS. Now in the next steps, so we already transferred these things. All of the next steps, what we're going to do, we'll create a users. We'll create a password verification functions because we will be creating a new user, a new table space, a new user profile, because we cannot create anything object in the sys and system level. So we are going to create a new one, and then we'll start importing using the data pump. So let's begin. I already having a script with me. it's not a script, it's some kind of some few commands. These commands you can get it from the Amazon website very easily. So this is again the AWS provided functions. I have just only changed the function name. It is a custom password functions where I have putting my password policy, like minimum length is 7, minimum uppercase 2, minimum digit 1, and special character 1. So I have to be very careful when choosing the password for the user. So let me run that. Yeah, successfully completed. So now using this, I'll be creating a user profile and I'll putting this the newly created function. So here I have given this what is how the user will be used, what are the policies at the like password lifetime, connect time, CPU per call. This is again I got it from everything from the AWS website. They are best practices. Okay, so profile HR users is created. Now I'll be creating a table space. So the users I am going to create, it will use this table space. So I'll put the name the table space as an example. Okay, table space example is created. The next steps would be the create a users. I'll put the user as HR new, and the password, that this I need to put the 2 caps. So HR is 2 caps. Minimum 7, so it's minimum 7. 1 digit I put the 4 digit, and 1 special character I put a hash. Then I am putting this table space as an example. It's a newly created one. Quota unlimited. I have to put this table space name correctly. Example. And the profile, the newly created profile. So let's just shoot. Okay. Okay, HR new is created. Now I have to give some grants to the HR new to perform the import things. Okay, grant is given. Now come back to the actual import. This is a big script. Now I can just show you what are the things I'm gonna do. The first of all, the operation is import. It's a schema level import. Okay, and here I have to change the DMP name. The DMP name would be I believe HR underscore new. Let me check once from here. Yeah, so I'll be changing the DMP name. So DMP name here, it is a data farm directory in RDS. Okay, the log file would be import hrnew.logs. Get it there. I'll be changing the schema once the source schema was HR, so I'll be remapping schema to the HR new. The schema is already schema. The user is already created, so I'll be using the remap table space as well. The HR schema default directory was users for RDS. For testDB, I have created a new table space called example. Okay, then DBMS set parameters. If the table exists, I'll put as a skip. And this is a new parameters for 12c. It said the disable archive loggings. Okay, so let me shoot these things. I'll copy the enter script. and I'll run in SQL Developer. Okay, let's run. It may take maybe a maybe a minute or so, because I don't have many objects here. So it depends on your how many objects and how many rows. It will take some time. Okay, it says it's successfully completed. Let me check the log files. Okay, I know this is my log file. Another thing is that I have to set some lines, maybe depend on. Okay, let me check the logs, check the status of the import. Okay. Some of the things got failed because grant create external job to HR new, grant drop directory to HR new, grant any privileges, alter database. So it's able to import the rows into the table, but some of the things which was there in the source database, like the user or role OE, which is not present in the destination database, is got failed. But most of our stuff is got completed successfully. Let me check these things. Come back to here. Our database is called HR new, so it's having the tables and the rows. And let me check about the indexes. So if I'll check the count the rows, select rows, table name from DBA tables, where owner is equal to HR new. We can see that yes, the rows are matching, it seems. And if I see, we had 6 object types. Count where owner HR new, group by type. Okay, looks fine. We had sequence 6 kind of things, and all that got imported here. Now that means that we can successfully import the HR schema from our source database on-prem or EC2 level successfully to the RDS Oracle. The last steps we can perform, like remove the export dump file. This maybe we can do that for the because this is not needed now, so we can check the export dump file and we can remove safely. So for that, I can, we already checked this, where this file is resides in the db dump data perm directory. So file is still there in the log files. So we can create a script to get the exact script to delete those export related files. So I can see that there is two files are there. One is the dump file, one is the import log files. So let me copy and run one by one. Okay, this is gone. So now this is remaining. This is about the import log files. Yeah, let me check again and re-verify there is no file left. Okay, so this is done. So we have completed the clear portions as well. Well, this concludes today's learning sessions. Hopefully you will get a good glimpse how you can perform this schema import from on-prem Oracle database to Oracle database on RDS. Hopefully you like it. Thank you. See you again. Bye.